Welcome to the Happy Wanderer, and today we're in the kitchen exploring a very wholesome bush breakfast which could be prepared either right out of the sack cold or hot. So I've got these steel cut oats that I store in glass jars because I buy them in 25-pound sacks at a place like Cash and Carry or URM, restaurant supply type store. Buying them in bulk makes them a lot more affordable for me. And what steel cut oats are is they're a groat, whole groat cut into 3 or so pieces on a steel burr. And in doing so, they retain the protein and fiber, insoluble and soluble fiber, and of course your vitamins and minerals. And we help the body absorb those more when we soak our grains. So I've soaked for 24 hours, 4 cups or 1 quart, and I've covered them with water and a couple of spoons of lemon juice to balance out the acids. This will get rinsed and dried in the Cabela's 80-liter commercial dehydrator. Now they call it commercial, but in the instructions it says it's for home use. So I'll show you the drying process here in a moment. What I'm going to add to my hot and cold breakfast options are raw nuts. I have sunflower, pepita, walnuts, raisins, flax meal for a little more fiber, omegas. There's many different things you could add to this to personalize it for yourself. In the hot version, for a sweetener, it'll have the raisins. And I'll use a small amount of honey crystals. And I'll also throw in there some coconut milk powder to give me a creaminess. So when I cook a warm breakfast, it's very soothing on the stomach. And again, this will be very wholesome out on the trail. It will give you a lot of energy until you get to sit down for your next meal or snack. So stay tuned and we'll explore this Cabela's food dehydrator and this wholesome bush breakfast. Okay, here we are. My oats are well drained, still draining a little bit in this fine mesh basket. We're going to get as much moisture as we can out of these oats. So because they were soaked, once they're dried, you can eat them that way, kind of like grape nuts. Or you can cook them with some of these components or components that you choose for your bush breakfast. But in this case, I'm using the Cabela's 80-liter dehydrator. I've got 12 racks to work with. I probably only need about 4 or 6. And I'm using a silicone mesh pad that kind of like the baking pads you use in the oven, except these are perforated. And that perforation helps the drying process of whatever you put in this dehydrator. So I'll just spread on there what looks good. I don't want them too deep. Yeah, there's a little moisture there. I'm going to get a spoon. And 1 spoon. That'll make it a little easier to get them from the top, and then I won't be spreading that moisture around on them. So let's see, can I get about, that's probably enough for 1. And what I'll do with the back of my spoon is spread them evenly like so, and nice and even. Nice even layer, I think. Lots of good open air pockets. Well, load up the rest of the racks and be back with you in just a moment. We'll go over to the dehydrator. We'll set a temperature and a time. I will close the door and let this beast do its job. Here we are after about 6 hours of drying, and we have a product very similar to that of which we started with. The only difference is now you can actually chew it and enjoy the nice chew and nutty flavor this offers. During the drying process, in that 6 or 6.5 hours at 120 degrees, I would take a clean hand, and after some of the moisture started to come out, and just roll it around gently a little bit to help it dry more evenly. And we got it to a really nice state here. These mats make it fairly easy to transfer a product like this. And I'd like to go over what I'll be putting in the steel cut oats again. Be putting in about a teaspoon. It's about 3 grams of sugar in that teaspoon of these honey crystals. I'll be putting in about a tablespoon of coconut milk powder, and I'll choose a few nuts, and I'll add some flax meal and raisins to taste for a little more sweetness and wholesomeness. And I'll take my walnuts are fairly large, so I thought I'd take my little hatchet here and just give them a slight, like a slight chop, so that they're not quite so big in the cereal packet. Now this oatmeal, or steel cut oats, at this point, when you boil your water, it'll cook in about 3 minutes. And it's still pretty rich and dense and chewy, but that's part of the wholesomeness that we obtain with this product. So, got some baggies out here, small snack size baggies, and I'm just going to put about a half a cup into each bag, and then I will put about a tablespoon, large rounded tablespoon of some crushed walnuts here in the first couple bags. Probably a few pepitas, and I'll do the raisins in a similar way, like so. A few more in that one. And a good shot of some flax meal. And I really believe the only thing I'd be missing there be a little salt, pink salt in this case. And I would just put in a very small pinch in each bag. Now for the coconut milk powder, it says a tablespoon is a serving, so we'll go ahead and go that route and give that a try. First shot out of the bag here. And the honey crystals, you know, to get your 3 grams of sugar, you could double it. You could have 6 grams of sugar in your oatmeal. You're going to get a little sugar here anyway, especially with the raisins. But it says a teaspoon is a serving, and that is 3 grams of sugar. So that looks about right to me. So what I'll be doing in my video to come here is I'll be cooking this probably over an alcohol stove, and I'll cook it in a little cup with a lid, and we'll see the volume that this makes. And the benefits is I'll be able to make it to lunch, even exerting a lot of energy. So again, I thank you for joining me, the Happy Wanderer. Until next time, keep on bushcrafting.